My nanny coached my son to lie to CPS in Spanish, not knowing I'm fluent. I was standing in the kitchen making coffee when I heard my nanny Claudia talking to my 4-year-old son Oliver in rapid Spanish through the baby monitor. Her voice came through clear and urgent, speaking faster than I'd ever heard her. She was teaching him a script, repeating phrases over and over until he could say them back perfectly. When the lady comes to talk to you, you say your papa never hits you. You say he's a good papa. You say mama is the one who gets angry. My hand froze on the coffee pot as I processed what I was hearing. Claudia had been our nanny for 8 months, recommended by a friend from my yoga class. She was warm and motherly, always arriving on time with homemade empanadas for Oliver. My wife Diana and I both worked demanding jobs, so having reliable childcare felt like winning the lottery. Claudia spoke limited English, which had never been an issue because Oliver was learning Spanish anyway, and I'd grown up in a bilingual household in Southern California. My mother was from Guadalajara and had insisted all her children speak perfect Spanish, but I'd never mentioned this to Claudia because she seemed more comfortable speaking English around me. Now I stood frozen in my kitchen at 6:30 in the morning, listening to her coach my son on what to tell Child Protective Services, and my brain couldn't make sense of why CPS would be coming to talk to Oliver at all. Repita mi amor, Claudia's voice continued. Tu papa es bueno, tu mama se enoja mucho. Oliver's small voice repeated the words back. Your papa is good, your mama gets angry a lot. I set down my coffee cup and pressed the volume button on the monitor. Claudia was still talking, explaining to Oliver that a nice lady would come ask him questions, and he needed to remember exactly what to say. She told him it was like a game, except this was even more important because it would help keep him safe. My 4-year-old son was being coached to lie to government authorities, and the person doing it was someone we trusted completely. I grabbed my phone and started recording the audio from the monitor. Claudia was moving on to different scenarios, asking Oliver what he would say if the lady asked about bruises or if mommy ever scared him. Oliver kept giving the wrong answers, and Claudia would gently correct him each time. No, Michielo, you have to say mommy gets very angry, and sometimes you're scared. Can you say that for me? Oliver repeated it back in his sweet voice, and I felt rage building in my chest. This woman was teaching my baby to accuse his mother of abuse, programming him with false memories and scripted responses. I saved the recording and started a new one, capturing every word before Claudia realized I could hear them. She spent another 10 minutes drilling Oliver on his responses, praising him when he got the script right. The whole thing was methodical and practiced, like she'd done this before. When she finally seemed satisfied, I heard her tell Oliver they should go downstairs for breakfast, and I quickly shut off the monitor and tried to compose myself. My mind was racing, trying to understand why our nanny was preparing my son for a CPS interview we knew nothing about. Claudia walked into the kitchen with Oliver holding her hand, both smiling like this was just another normal morning. She greeted me warmly, asking if I wanted her to make breakfast. Oliver ran over to hug my legs, chattering about cartoons, completely oblivious to what he'd just been programmed to say. I picked him up and held him close, but he was just my normal happy kid asking if he could have chocolate chip pancakes. Claudia started pulling out ingredients, humming to herself while I sat Oliver at the table with his coloring books. Every movement she made felt sinister now. I excused myself and went to my home office, locking the door and immediately calling Diana at the hospital. She answered on the 3rd ring. I kept my voice low and told her we had an emergency with Claudia, that I'd recorded something extremely disturbing and needed her to come home immediately. Diana's voice shifted to focused, asking if Oliver was okay. I told her Oliver was physically fine, but we needed to talk privately. She said she'd be home in 40 minutes and to keep everything normal. I went back downstairs and found Claudia making pancakes while Oliver colored. I sat at the table and tried to make small talk, asking about her plans. She chatted normally about taking Oliver to the park, maybe stopping by the library. Her performance was flawless, not a hint of the manipulation I'd witnessed. When Diana's car pulled into the driveway, Claudia looked surprised but pleased. Diana came through the door with her work bag and hospital badge. She smiled at Claudia and Oliver, but I could see the tension around her eyes. I suggested Oliver might want to watch cartoons, and Claudia offered to set him up. Once they were out of the kitchen, Diana grabbed my arm and demanded to know what was going on. I pulled out my phone and played her the recording, watching her face cycle through confusion, shock, then pure rage as she listened to Claudia coaching our son to accuse her of abuse. And that's when things took a turn I never expected. Full story is linked below or on my channel.